Talking about the big monkey man. Right, so I have invested in some new camera equipment to do this, and I'll show you that some other time. But it's quite a setup. It looks like I'm on Top Gear or something driving around with this. And we've tested it, and there's a lot of background noise, but we can take some of that out in editing. So this seems to be working for now. It's going dark now, so I don't know what the light's going to be like. Hopefully it's not too bad. But I have a lot to say sometimes, and sometimes my mouth gets me in trouble, but I'm all for, you know, if you want to say it, say it. As long as it's obviously, if you're going to offend somebody, be prepared to get a smacking mouth. But other than that, say what you want. Free speech. Unless you've been a twat, basically. Anyway, small businesses, right? I have to pinch myself every day when people say things to me about owning a business, or when I'm on the phone and they say, what's your position in the company, and I say director or whatever. I have to pinch myself, because those of you that are new to the channel don't know really that I don't know how it happened. Because I'm not business minded. I'm still not business minded, by the way, at all. I've never been business minded, never really wanted to be self-employed, never wanted to work for myself, never wanted to pay taxes, never wanted to contribute to society in that way. I've always been a bit of a rebel on that, and but also I've just not been able. I've not had any business ideas before to want to be in business. To have a business. So Coalition Vans, for those that don't know, is my business, and is going well, and it's 4 years oldish. 4 years ago since the idea first started anyway. I find it really hard taking myself seriously, and I always I feel very insecure that other people aren't taking me seriously as well, especially on YouTube, because I'm a clown, and that is the way I am. We clown around at work. I've always been a class clown. I've always been known as that. I'm never serious about anything, unless it's something to do with my children, of course, and then I am deadly serious. But now I'm in a position where I'm like I surprise myself with stuff that I know for a start. That's another one. Like, I'll know something and I'll say, oh yeah, this is how that works, and I'll be like, who do you think you are, Liam? And then I'll do something like paying tax or something. I'll be like, oh fucking hell, Liam paying taxes and all that kind of thing. Like, I get really. It's still new, even though it's 4 years old, it's still right new and still right bizarre that it's a real thing. But it is, and it started from absolutely nothing. Absolutely nothing. It was a almost idea written on a beer mat. It was that, like, it was a conversation that I had with somebody, and I said, got this idea for a business. And I never expected it to go anywhere, so I never took it seriously. And it was only, so I was doing work for people on people's vans, very roughly, by the way, not as a business, but I was doing a few little bits and bobs on people's vans to get by, just after COVID, I think it was. And then one day I got asked to build the green Luton van that I did, which was started 3 years ago. In fact, 3 years ago now, I was building that van. So at that point, I sort of had to start taking it a bit more seriously, especially because of all the trouble that I had with the people who owned that van. Not that I want to talk about them too much, because I don't want to give them the attention and that, but for those that don't know, they used me as a bit of a step up to get more well known in the van life community and get contacts on free stuff and all that kind of thing. I was phoning businesses and companies that I've worked with before saying, can we get these guys a free battery, or can we get these guys this, that and the other, and all this kind of stuff, and they were completely ungrateful for it all, and quickly I knew that they were going to try and screw me in the end because of disagreements, and that was their way of getting back at me for saying, no, I'm not willing to do X, Y and Z on your van and fit dangerous things to your van and all that kind of thing. So at that point, once that, they actually, I know they didn't mean to, but they actually helped me a lot, because they were the reason why I started to take the business seriously. I thought there was a point where some people were talking about them taking legal action against me. Obviously, like, as somebody who's just trying, like, Coalition Vans wasn't even a legit business then. It was me, or loosely working towards it being a proper business. Like, I never expected it to be my job. It was a bit of a side hustle that I thought that I could try and, get by on. But then all the drama kicked off on that, and they did a lot of nasty things and that. But what positives happened from it is that I refused to let myself be beaten by them in that way, but also lots of people saw through it and supported me and give me a kick up the arse a little bit to really make a go of it. So then we did, and then I carried on sort of. Off the back of that van, I got asked to do more vans and more vans and more vans, and then I was booked up for a long time in advance. And then it was time to get my own place, like an actual building, which again seemed strange. The building that we moved into was a dream. Like, I could never, when I was younger me that was into cars and all that kind of thing, and modifying vehicles and motorbikes and all that, having like a premises or a unit was something that you could, even when I was there for 18 months, 2 years, and I was there for 2 years, yeah. I was there for 2 years, and the novelty of having that place never wore off for me. Like, every morning I'd get up and I'd go in there and I'd think, I can't believe this is mine. But I kept going, focused on what I wanted to achieve, which was to build better and better quality vans every time. I had some hiccups with not being able to do better, but sort of doing the same vehicle over and over again. But then once we changed staff and that, and changed motivation and changed tactic, and got people in that were motivated to push themselves and push the business, we were then able to experiment and work on different types of vans and do different styles and all that kind of thing. And that's really what catapulted Coalition Vans to where it is today. The creative minds and the drive and all that. So then we took a punt, as I've said to you before, took a punt on getting a bigger premises that was 5 times the size of the one we had before. But the novelty of that still didn't wear off. Like, I'm still like a kid in a sweet shop when I get to work. I'm still like, I can't believe that all these tools. Younger me dreamed of having the tools that I've got today. Like, I could never imagine even just having like the basics, like having a tool cabinet. I would have killed for that. For those of you that don't know, I trained as a mechanic when I left school. For about 3 years I did MVQs and all that kind of thing, and then hated working in garages with not very nice people and that, so I just went off to do something else. But that me then, 17, 18 year old me, would have killed to have the tools I've got today. And now when I go to work and I need a tool to do anything, pretty much, I've got that tool now, and I've got all the tools that I need to do the job that I do, and I've got tools that help push things further. I've got tools now that I don't even use because I bought it thinking it'd be really helpful, and it's not. In fact, I've only got more tools that I don't use than what I do use now. If Coalition Vans ever went tits up, I don't know where I'll put all the stuff, put it that way. That's how much stuff. I've gone from being a minimalist in a van, having very little and getting rid of everything, to now having so much stuff that I need that unit just to store my stuff. So that is one of my big motivations, is I need to make this work now because I don't know where I'm going to put everything. And that's always on the back of my mind. Anyway, we've moved now. We've been 6 months in this new place. When we first moved in, it was like a playground, in that we had so much room for activities, as people would say. And we built swings, we built a bar, we built a bike shed, we put a basketball net up. We messed around a bit and that, while still doing work. For those of you that are doubting us, we still put out good quality work, but we just enjoy ourselves while doing it, which is, there's nothing wrong with that. Now, while I'm on that subject, I've heard people suggest that, we mess around too much and all that kind of thing, and that might put people off. But what I say to that is, I would rather be happy doing the thing that I do and having fun with my mates, whilst still putting out good quality work, than working somewhere where I'm miserable all the time, or always looking at somebody else, or wanting to move to another company, or even working somewhere then asking other companies for a job and all that kind of thing. Like, it's nice to be content where we are and happy and having a laugh than be miserable. And from a customer's point of view, yeah, sometimes we might use foul language and sometimes we might mess around and be really childish and that, but I'd rather buy a van from somebody who's down to earth, normal, maybe, and that is happy and has a good time and really has a passion for that job, than somebody that is just miserable all the time. And that's not a dig at Bruce, because he's not miserable all the time, just when he sees me. But as a customer, if you're watching this, like, we enjoy the job we do, we have got a passion for it, and we dick about as well while we're doing our job, and I think that's probably a better thing than having robots do very basic things and not have a personality and all that kind of thing. So anyway, that by the by, I just thought I'd add that in because I heard a thing recently about it. Anyway, Coalition Vans is where it is now, and it is down to some minds having the same focus and the same drive as each other, and it has all happened by accident, which I am eternally grateful for, and cannot believe still that it's a thing. I can't believe that it's like, it surprises me. Like, again, I don't want to, I'm only talking about it because a lot of you like the reality of it, but don't forget that 5 years ago I had nothing. So I've gone from having literally nothing, like borrowing some money to get a van fixed, or borrowing money to get a van to replace the one that's broken, borrowing money to buy an injector to try and get my old van fixed, to then 5 years later not just having a job but having something that's now a career and is relatively stable. Like, I know that all businesses could go through rough patches, and we have been through rough patches, but especially out of COVID, like, think about how many businesses went under at that point. And I know of other van building firms that have gone bust as well. So we're so lucky to be in the position that we're in now, and still going, and still pushing, and still being busy. And that's a dream. And when people say living the dream, I never dreamt of this many years ago, but now I feel like I am living. It feels like a false reality. Like, I feel like I'm living a dream, but at some point somebody's going to wake me up and I'm going to be in a jail cell or something, and I've just dreamt it all. But actually, I'm still a low life. Not that I've never been to jail. Not for any extended period of time anyway. I've never been to prison or anything like that. Don't worry. I might look like a convict. That's a different thing. But yeah, the fact that we've gone from nothing, it blows my mind every day. And again, I've got you lot to thank for it. all the subscribers that believed in me, all the customers that put their trust in us from the beginning, from day one. The cat van, shout out to the cat van. That was the first one, and that really was what catapulted the business forward and gave me the drive. It gave me the content to put out on YouTube as well. Don't forget, my subscribers jumped massively from building camper vans. So all of you are part of this team as well, which is brilliant. Anyway, that was just my Friday rant for you all. I'll see you soon. Bye, Felicia.